going on? What is going on? Everybody in the house, what is going on? Wake up in Cleveland every single morning.
I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell 'em run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell 'em.
What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? Cleveland Terry Show, aka DJ Tech Thursday. We're hanging out for a limited amount of time today. We will definitely be off by noon, as I do have things I need to do today. So by noon, let's see when's my first. Not until later, but I got a couple of meetings around 2, so I want to be done by noon because I need to get to the gym. I need to take my dog out on a hike. I need to send out a couple of emails, normal stuff. So we're going to be doing that. In and out today. In and out. Pause. Once again, thank you guys for hanging out. Always appreciated when you guys can hang out on a Thursday, a Thursday morning / afternoon. It's always a good time. This is one of those days. I was out late. I had an event last night. So a little bit on the tired side today. Contemplated not doing this event. That's how tired I am. I said this event when I meant to say this show this morning. But I'm here. We're going to do it. Rain, snow, nuclear disaster. The show will be on. As long as I have internet and air in my body, the show will be on. But let's see if we can answer some questions. We're not going to go into too many rambles today. I will talk a little bit about my event this weekend, which was a little bizarre. And, we'll keep it moving. We'll try to answer some questions. If you guys have any. For instance, Eduardo says, thinking about buying a Roland 707 controller. What do you think about the controller? Well, I think it's a great controller. I also think that it is a, is it even still being made? Has it been discontinued? Let's take a look. The controller is great. I have a hard time, if it is discontinued, I have a hard time ever telling anybody to buy a discontinued product of anything. Unless it was like, Technics MK3 turntables. Besides that, it's hard. It's hard because I'm not even sure. And there's been no word on the street, but I'm pretty sure that Roland has stopped making DJ controllers. So I would be a little concerned about the longevity of the product. But when it came out, still today, it's a very good product. And I know a lot of people that love their 707. I thought that I don't know, man. It's a good controller. If it's been, let's take a look. Do I have my? Where's my HDMI cord? Okay, let's find that HDMI cord. Got too much stuff on my desk, but let's find that HDMI cord. Hold on. All right. I got too much stuff up here. I have all this stuff up here and no reviews. That is definitely an issue. Now, It's slightly, I've just been busy. I hope I don't get too busy to be able to do reviews. I like doing reviews. But one thing I purchased. Oh, one thing I purchased to be able to do more reviews quicker. So an editor can go and edit my videos because the chair is fine, Lance. Leave my chair alone. It just squeaks, but it's fine. My biggest issue with having an editor come in and edit my videos is for a lot of my earlier videos, I just talk, just like now. I get on here and I just start talking about the product. Now, that's been fine. It's worked for me. It still works for me today. The problem is post. After I record the video, having to go through, re-edit things, move some things around so the story makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of little things that I have to do. And a lot of things I have to do. And unless you're in my head, you don't know the issue. They don't know where I want to put things or if I like a certain take better. They don't know. So I have a teleprompter that I purchased that will help me write out my scripts first, and then we'll start doing the whole thing and we'll read it and see how comfortable or uncomfortable it feels to do. And I'm hoping that I will like it enough to just do my thing. And then afterwards, either I have an editor come in or it's done so linear and perfect that I can just go in there and literally just cut out a couple of key things and keep it moving. That's my plan anyway. You know, it was weird. I've been fine. Every so often, you know, if you're like sitting down somewhere or you're laying down somewhere, I've always had this issue. You get up fast and it throws off your equilibrium. And then like your body is just out of whack for a minute until like it has a chance. Like that's what's going on with me right now. I got up really fast and I got up, and it's not an old thing because I've had this my entire life. I don't know if you guys have experienced this. Maybe this is just a me thing, but sometimes you just get up and you're just like, oh, I'm nauseous all of a sudden. What the hell happened? That's what's going on with me right now. I'm not sure what happened, but it's definitely, I'm fighting through it right now. I'm fine, but I'm fighting through it. Okay. 707. Let's see if we can get some information here. Okay. Well, this is as of 2022 from a Reddit ad, a Reddit post that says Roland confirmed 707 isn't a discontinued product, but there's still no firmware updates. Yeah, it's hard to tell. It's hard to say. They're still selling it. Still 1,029. I never could get into Roland. I like what Roland does. I like a lot of their stuff. I don't like how it looks. I just think that this is an ugly product. It's just so unattractive. Now, that's just me. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's just not a deck that I would get. I don't like the green. Never liked all the green. It's just the colorways are just off to me. But it's not for me. It's for anybody who wants it. So enjoy. Okay, let's see here. This is my Stanley. When did I get this? It's a smaller version. I got this for, I mean, the closest thing would have been my anniversary because my birthday's in January. Maybe for my anniversary. I got it for something. Anyway, I always fought having the Stanley. No Stanley review coming out. I always fought having a Stanley, and I do see the benefit of, and don't get me wrong here, this isn't the first cup we've had, okay? These insulated cups, we have like 40 of them, not just Stanley, but all the name brands. You know, every couple of years there's like a new hotness, and the new hotness right now is Stanley. So I didn't want the super large one because I'm like, it's just too big and awkward, and I hate the way you look when you're walking around with it. Like I just hate it. And so she got me this one for my car, and it's been good. Here's the thing. It's been like 108 at my office, and we have both of the, we're in an industrial complex. I've said this, in the warehouse. So we have two air conditioning running now, one for the warehouse and one for in my office, and that one's underpowered. I need to get another one. Anyway, I've been going through a lot of water because it's been so damn hot, and I started running again, and I hit the gym yesterday. Yay me. Or not yesterday, the day before. So I'm going back right after this. But so I've been drinking a lot of water. Now this thing is too small. I go through this thing so fast. Now I'm like, hey honey, go get me that other one. I want to be you now. All I need is some what do they call those? What's the Thanksgiving brown sugar drink? What is the thing? What is the thing that's real bit orange? What is it? What is it? I can't think of it right now. Anyway, I'm turning into a UGG-wearing white woman, I guess. Pumpkin spice. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Mix Factory. I'm turning into a white lady. At least it's black. I mean, come on. Like my wife didn't like, you know. Anyway, it works, but now it's too small. So now I have 2 water bottles until I decide what I'm going to do. Oh, my guy, Matt is in the house. What's going on, fam? Good to see you, bro. Thanks for hanging out today. If you guys don't know this man, if you don't know this man, you gotta learn this man. Go to Instagram, go follow this man. He is an amazing DJ, and dare I say it, an amazing man. I like Matt a lot. He's a really good guy. And I mean, look, don't get it twisted. Like, I'm social and I can talk to everybody out there. But let me tell you this, okay, in all honesty, and only like my real friends know this about me. I hate talking to random people. I hate small talk. You know, I don't do it. I don't do it. And I honestly, antisocial a little bit. Matt and I just have chats. He's just a real down to earth guy and doesn't feel like any bullshit. You know what I mean? Like I respect him, and he's a damn good DJ. He's a damn good DJ. And don't talk about my chair, Lance. That's why do you think I have on my Rodecaster I have a sound deadening. So every time I'm not talking, it goes away. That's the key here. Nam is so Mad will tell you because we hung out a lot. It was Mad. It was Mad, Nate Acosta, DJ Kova. Who else was with us? A couple other DJs, and they'll tell you they'll tell you, Johnny. Thank you, Johnny. After every day, after like going to the convention floor, I'm just like, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Like, it is work. It is exhausting. I love every minute. To me, doing these conventions, in all honesty, is like going to the gym. I don't really want to go to the gym, but I know it's a necessary evil to go to the gym. And I know when I go to the gym, the results that I get from going to the gym, it's the same thing. After the gym, I am exhausted. I've worked my butt off. I just want to go home and just sit on the couch. That's how I am with people. It's a necessary evil for what it is that I do, but it's a lot of work. And it's a lot of work because small talk is not something I do easily. That's why. But it's a lot of work for me. For me, I can't speak for everybody. You know, there's some people that they just click in, you know, and they're just chat. Not me. I know you think right here, well, you're talking to nobody. Come on. I didn't say it wasn't easy for me. I said it's difficult to just create, just keep interest. Oh yeah, okay. Where you from? Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's a great little town. Yeah. So why are you here? Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. Well, what do you do for, oh, nice. Oh, great, thanks. Oh, hey man, thank you. So I appreciate that, man. Oh, so how long are you gonna be here? Oh, okay, cool. Oh, okay. And like literally, like it's word for word. It's word for word. And then once I hit a certain amount of words in a new conversation, especially if I'm not getting anything back from the person, I don't need training. I've mastered it. It's exhausting though. It's just exhausting. It's exhausting. And remember, I'm not talking to one person. Like, you know, you go, you see somebody you hadn't seen in a while. Oh, what's going on? Like, I'm talking to like a lot of people, and we all have the same conversation. Just a lot. It's a lot. I enjoy it. I come back refreshed. I come back like I had a good workout, and I want to do more, but it's exhausting. Okay. Let's see here. DJ Stigma asks, you were talking about editing videos. Do you ever take clips from these sessions and post them? The other day I screen recorded you explaining gain structure for Mike's either controller. So, yes and no. I do when it's something that is like, okay, this is a good thing. I have all my videos downloaded. It's a time thing. It's a time thing to take them and edit them all and post them. It is a time thing. Yes, I do want to post all of my good comments or good questions on social. If it's the social I post mostly to is Instagram. So make sure you follow me on Instagram. That is a thing. It's just at Cleveland Terry with an _. Same thing with TikTok. And if they're really, really good, I do post them on YouTube, but that's less frequent. I mean, content on IG, it's always there. So, but I will get in the habit of doing it more, in all honesty. Philip 10 in the house. Kylie Palm in the house. Mac Joseph, Homer Diaz. All right, let's see here. That must be a Cali thing. I think it's just a me thing. And again, it's not that I can't do small talk. It's just that I just don't really appreciate it. It's just my thing, you know. I'm a Capricorn, and you know, we're very, very introverted. It's just hard. It's just hard to see because we mask it very well. See, when I was growing up, a couple of things. You know, I was a dancer. You know, b-boy, hip hop dancer, all that stuff. So that was always my way of like getting the ladies. You know, the ladies. You know, I'm dancing, doing a damn 1990. They're like, "Ooh, who's that guy?" I had dreadlocks. I was the guy. But for whatever reason, a lot of my friends were like drama people and, my sports guys, because I ran track, played football, all those things. But like my close friends were all my sports guys, and sports guys were all my acting people, the drama, the choir people. Those were just people I connected to because I was also, into music and all that stuff. They could just turn it on whenever they wanted. And I just thought, that is so impressive. Like, how do you do that? So I studied and watched them till I got to a point where it was reasonable, just reasonable. And I developed a skill for it, but what I'm saying is it's not natural. My normal conversations with people, all those things, me happy, hey, come in, blah, 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 blah. That's not natural for me. That is a learned trait, learned skill. So when it's not natural to you, that's when you're exhausted. It's kind of like people who are first learning how to swim, and they're just like burning through energy, and they can't do distance because they just have improper technique. I've learned proper technique, but still takes up a lot of energy. And I'm happy for you, Mac. I'm happy for you. This is the joy of being a human being. Everybody has different things about them, and I'm very happy that it's natural for you. You're selling something. You're at NAMM, you're doing your thing, so it has to be. I'm not selling anything. I'm selling myself. So if you can't like me for who I am, then I guess you're not buying my product, But yeah, it's a gift. It's a gift for a lot of people. My partner Paris is the talker. But there is a trick to these things, and I've learned this trick, and it's always in my head. So I don't know if you've ever noticed, but most people that are really good at having conversations, they cycle through a lot of stories that are just kind of locked in, their story time. So when you see them, and let's say you see them multiple times, you see them with people, you start to realize that like, oh, you're saying the same stories over and over again, And then I always was like, I don't want to be the person that is saying the same stories over and over again. So I'm really aware of what I say and how I say it, Well, Mac, you are the man. I think that's what Mac wants to hear today. Mac, I'm very, very proud of you. What you do at NAMM is very impressive. Much better than anything that I could ever do. I've been filming you in secret. If you didn't notice, by your booth, if you look over to the right, there's a camera, a little GoPro that's mounted to the top corner of the booth right across from you. And I'm filming you. I'm learning your ways. Then I'm going to create a YouTube channel just about Mac Joseph and all the wonderful things that Mac wants and loves. It's going to be DJ all day, DJ all day, DJ all day. But I will absolutely stop by the booth next time, Mac. And if I don't, you come find me and you come grab me, because that is the thing. I mean, look, everybody understands. Honestly, this isn't a slight, and even Mixmaster in the house. What's going on, fam? I probably talked to Mixmaster G like 20 seconds, like honestly, 20 seconds, because he knows once you get there, it's chaos from the time I walk onto the floor to when I leave. It is chaos, and I appreciate it. It's a good thing. I mean, I've built this community and I want to talk to people, but it's chaos. There's everybody wants to say hi, friends I know, people that, like here on the chat here, people want to say hi. People who've never met me want to finally meet me. Lots of pictures, and I don't mind any of this stuff, but they'll tell you, so I have been found hiding in a like abandoned booth, sitting there eating alone. I've just to get away, because it is a lot. I was hiding in Kova's presentation. I went in there like a half hour early just to eat my food, because I can't just eat at one of the tables. And this, I know this sounds egotistical. I'm not trying to make it an ego thing, honestly, but I'm just telling you what the reality is for me. I can't, if I'm eating at a table, I'm literally eating at a table, talking to people the entire time. So I have to go hide. And, so yes, I have a little bit of DJ celebrity, a little bit. That's it. A little bit. But in real life, no celebrity. I get a lot of that, because along with the YouTube stuff, I have a decent amount of following on IG, and I've picked up a lot of non-DJ people too from a lot of the videos that I posted. So I do get a lot of people like, I flat out was talking to this one guy. It was at a dance thing for my kids, and I'm chatting with this guy, and I'm like, I feel like I know him, and I'm chatting, and I'm like, have we talked before? How do I know you? He's like, no. I'm like, I feel like I know you. He goes, oh, and I said, are you on IG? He goes, yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, you post those videos, like comedy videos. That's how I thought I knew him. So I know I get a lot of that because I do have eyes from my other social media. So I never know. And to be honest with you, this is how stupid that I can be. I will walk around sometimes like, what the fuck are you looking at? Like, because people will be staring at me like, what? And then I realize, oh wait, it could have been anything. I get people right now. I was doing a bar mitzvah 2 weeks ago. And we were in a multi-event space. So there was the bar mitzvah downstairs and 2 weddings upstairs. Strangely, I happen to know both the DJs at least 2 of them that were at one of the weddings. Anyway, guy comes down, which was weird to me. Okay, he comes down. He's like, "Hey, how's it going?" It was blah 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 blah. He starts chatting it up. Yeah, I'm doing the wedding upstairs. I'm like, that's great. Like, what? Why are you here? Do you need some gaffer's tape or something? No, what's this? Oh, this is nice. Oh, this is how you like that booth. Oh, very, very cool. Yeah. And I'm just kind of, small talking it up. And he's looking at me. He's like, have we worked together before? I feel like I know you. I feel like I've seen you. And I'm like, oh yeah, you probably looked at one of my products that I reviewed, something like that. And he's like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like we worked together. I'm like, no, trust me. It's that. So it's one of those things, if you're a DJ, I have to assume that even if you don't know me, I would have to assume that at least if you're on YouTube, that the algorithm has at least thrown one of my videos up on your screen and you've at least seen my face. That's what I assume. Because there's a lot of people that still don't know me. A lot of people do not know me still in the YouTube space, which is weird because you would think that DJs would, gravitate, but there's a lot of DJs that like what they like. They have no idea who I am, which is very, very, eye-opening when you're chatting with somebody. Like, there are levels, because I know that no matter how famous I am, there are people that are more famous than me. Like literally, I still laugh. I was walking around with Mojax at NAMM last year, and this dude walks up. He's like, "Hey man, love your stuff, man. Love your stuff." He's shaking Mojax's hand. Love it. Oh man, you're my biggest. Oh, and I'm like this. And he goes, yeah. Oh, hey, how you doing? What's your name? And I'm like, Cleveland Terry. So, I can get humbled really quick. So I'm not stupid to the fact that like there are people that just don't know. They don't know me. And that's okay. All that means is that there's a lot more opportunity for growth. You know, look at this segue. Look at this transition. You know, as a DJ and as a multi-op person, when people don't know me, it makes me happy because I know that there's still opportunity. The one thing I don't want to do is saturate the market so much because I'm a multi-op and, you know, a lot of people book us in Southern California and now, you know, out of the state and everything. But when people are like, I don't know you, I don't even know who you are, I'm like, yes, because that means new opportunity, new growth, new work. You know, that's key. When everybody knows you, you start to become like the go-to people. What ends up happening is there are people a little bit like me who are like, everybody likes that. I don't think I want to do that. And I'm like, good. It's very important. It is very important that as a DJ, you know, mobile DJ, okay, not club DJ, but mobile DJ. It's very important that you haven't completely saturated the market. It's very important that there are other DJs, like real competition and crappy competition that are around you, not working for you, but that are around you. Like, hey, I'm looking at you and I'm also looking at this person and this person. It's very important that there are those other DJs. And I know a lot of people go, well, why would you want that? Why would you want some other company to, you know, the people know that they want to talk to and they want to, because people need to understand the difference in quality. And that's good or bad. That could be your relative quality or somebody else's quality that's better than yours. People need to understand the difference because once they understand the difference, they will go to bat for you. Okay? Like I've had clients literally like, hey, we decided to go with this other company. And I'm like, hey, I get it. Go with them. They're a good company, whatever. They go with that company. And I've had this, and this is how I know where we are. I don't need people to tell me how good we are. I know how good we are because I'm a good judge of quality, and my standards are stupid high. I don't allow mediocre quality. If you are mediocre, you're probably getting, you know, the boot. But I need people to see other DJs because once they see other DJs and then they come back and see us, they realize the levels. They realize how much better we potentially are from another company or how much worse. I'm not trying to say that, you know, it can go vice versa, but I've had clients that have decided not to book us, and bar mitzvahs are funny because, you know, typically, just like any other group, people have families, and typically it's rare to find like a single child bar bat mitzvah. Typically there's 2 or 3 kids around. Okay. So, when that happens, and there's one thing that is very important to this, and we'll get back to it. But when that happens, and let's say they don't choose us, they always come back, and I have all of their information in our database. So when we're like, oh, they request a new brochure and they're emailing, hey, we have a party. And I'm like, okay, and I can see that they looked at us like 2 years before, because, you know, kids are like 2 to 3 years apart. And I can see that they were looking at us and decided not to move forward. I love the ones that are like, send me a contract. And then they just never sign the contract. And I can see all of that history in there. And then I'm like, okay, there you go. The difference. They went with somebody else. You know, a lot of times people don't want to hire the IT company. Because a couple of reasons. They're like, oh, the IT company, oh, they're probably more expensive. They're probably just as good. You know, they're just as good as that other person. It's just a DJ. There's no difference. And that DJ's cheaper. Let's just go with that DJ. And then they go with that DJ. And then they realize, oh, there is a difference. And you do get what you pay for. So next time, not only am I going to book them, but their rates have probably gone up. I'm going to pay that extra rate. Even though I probably could have gotten the cheaper rate from the previous company, but I want the best. The most important part you can do, And it's happened to me one other time when I used to get offended. Now we've been in business for almost 17 years. And I still remember this. I'm like an elephant when it comes to certain things. I remember all of the bad things that I've ever done. Like to clients, not to clients, but even like a sales call. And I'll give you one example in particular. Years ago, I still remember where they live. I remember the house. I remember I met them at their house. It was like an 8:00 meeting when I used to do like, full on travel meetings to the clients. We had a really, really great meeting. Lady's like, yes, we're going to book you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, cool. Send me the contract. We sent her the contract and, we're just waiting for them to sign. This is before I truly understood a little caveat here. They don't sign, right? Then finally I get an email from them. Hey, we've decided to go with another company. Thank you for your time. And I'm like, oh, interesting. I thought that you were going to book us. Yeah, well, we decided to go with somebody else. And I'm like, oh, well, what was the reason that you did it? And then they gave me the reason and I got offended. I got offended from the reason. All right. So then I went in and started telling them all the things that, well, this is what we do and blah, blah, blah. And then it backfired on me. They were like, see, this is what we don't want. We don't want the ego. We don't want this. We don't want that. And I'm like, I was mad. I was really mad. And then I had to take a step back and realize it's not about me. It's not even about my company. It has nothing to do with me. People like who they like because they like them. All I can do is be me. And either you do or you don't like me, or you find something more appealing with the other company. And in general, you can't take it personal. If you've done everything you can do, your website looks clean, your social media looks good, you've sold them like crazy and you had a great, conversation or whatever, great meeting. If you've done everything you can and they still choose somebody else, it has nothing to do with you. I mean, in all honesty, it could be just price. They could have given him a better price. It could be anything. But you can't take it personal. And I took that one personal. That was like maybe the first 3 to 5 years of us being in business. And I took it personal. And I said, I'd never do that again. So after that, when people are like, hey, we decided to go a different route. We no longer need your services. People give you those like really like, dead responses where you're like, you could have answered a little better than that. You know what I mean? Like, we had a super long conversation. We've been dealing with this for like a month or two. Like, you could have been a little nicer by the way you said that, but I don't take it offense anymore. Now I'm just like, okay, thank you. Have a great party. We'll be here next time. And it's very important that you leave that door open, because once you burn bridges, not only do you not get the repeat customer, but they'll tell their friends about you, and then you'll lose those too. Now, we don't do as many weddings, so it wasn't like a big hit. But when we started our company, there was the other DJ company that we had worked for and left, and I'd been gone for like a year. But that other DJ company spent a lot of energy talking a lot of trash about us. And every time a client would call, and they'd go, oh, yeah, well, we're looking at them, and then we're looking at you. And I would flat out say, I said this last time too, but it's a good thing to just kind of reinforce. When they're like, oh, we're looking at that company. I'm like, yeah, they're a really good company. Yeah, if you can get that person there, he's really, really good. I can't speak for anybody else there. I haven't seen them, but I know that guy's good if you can get him. And I always say that. I'm always honest with people. Or if I don't know them, I don't know them. I've heard good things about them. Or I know that they do this. That's it. Never a single bad thing. Even if I don't believe that they are truly a good DJ company, I will take whatever positive traits they have and I will use those. Oh yeah, yeah. I know about them. Yeah. We do a lot of work between one another. Yeah, they play a lot more games. They do a lot more of this, which is different from us, which is why we're different. But it depends on what you're looking for, and those types of things that non-hate, that just I'm cool with whatever you do. People don't feel attacked, so they'll come back to you. I've even flat out had people call me and like, hey, yeah, we're still looking at venues. I know I didn't book you. I'm like, it's fine. What are you looking at? Okay, this is what I like. This is why I like it. It's not a big deal. There's a lot of there's party planners out there right now that will legitimately tell you, which is why we don't work for these party planners. Don't say your name. Don't tell them who you are. Everything goes through me, because they want to gatekeep the entire package. They want to make sure that all the work comes from you. And I had a couple of party planners that are like, hey, we have a gig. It's a really large gig. We're doing this. We're doing that. Sweet. And I have them on a hold on the calendar. And I'm like, hey, I need to send out that contract. Let's go. Oh, they decided not to book me. So it's done. Well, I'm sorry. That sucks for you. But what about us? It sounds to me like they just didn't like you, and they won't send the information. I'm just like, nope, I'm done with that. So, I just think it's important that you're just as honest and upfront as possible to these people. And, don't spend all your energy shit talking. It doesn't help you. It does not help you. It makes you look bad. And they always come back. I tell you, I've had clients that have legitimately not booked us. I've seen them like heading up to a party, like in the elevator, whatever. And this one lady, I'm standing there and she's just like, hey, I'm like, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm so-and-so. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, we talked on the phone, blah, blah, blah. She's like, yeah, I didn't book you. And I'm like, yeah, I know, no big deal. She's like, but I should have. And I'm so sorry that I didn't book you. I tell all my friends about you, even though they know that I went with somebody else. I tell all my friends that I was dumb. I should have gone with you guys. You guys really are the best. Best feeling in the world. Or, oh, yeah, so I didn't want to book you because I thought your name was overhyped. And then I hired some people that were actually overhyped. That's the key. But if you talk a lot of trash and you're just, mean about things, and you spend all your time telling them how good you are, people don't really want to hear that. They don't want to hear how good you are, because they don't really care what you have to say about the quality of your work from a surface level. If you want to talk why you're as good as you are, that's the difference. If you're just like, oh, I'm this and I'm that, and I can do this and I can do that. But if you're like, well, the reason that we consider ourselves to be above other people is because we're one of the only companies that has actual training for all of our staff in different departments. We have training for our MCs. We have training for our DJs. We have training for our dancers. We have managers for each one of these departments that follow up every single week with the parties to ensure that we're not missing new music, that there's stuff that isn't dead, or there isn't a trend that came up that we're like, oh, we need to be ahead of. That's the difference. That's what we do. And that's how I put it. And whatever Sam said, I don't know, Sam. Got to see a picture of you with your dreads. I got to find one. I gotta find one. As we're talking, I'll find one. I'm glad to know that that's the most important part of this show is my dreads. All of them gems I'm trying to drop. You're like, show me your dreads. Show me your dreads. Show me your dreads. Lou says, I usually don't send a contract unless I know for sure they're ready to send me a deposit. They know the price. Yeah, I mean, that's the general plan. But a lot of people will say, send me a contract. And then you send it, and then it just sits there. which is very weird because our prices are on a price sheet. And if you're not adding on a whole bunch of add-ons and, LED walls and all that stuff, if you're not doing that, the price is the price. And yet people like send me a contract and I'm like, why? The price is right there. So if you're asking for a contract, that means you're ready to book because you know the prices. It's always weird to me. And then you send them a contract. They're like, no, thanks. I'm like, why did you ask for a contract then? You asked for our base package, which is on here. And yes, I absolutely want to be annoyed. And I'm just like, okay, no worries. Thank you. Hopefully we can do some work next time. Or maybe I dodged a bullet. There's some clients where I'm like, thank you for booking another company. I did not want to do your party. Okay. All right, Lehman, what's going on, pal? Good to see you. Do you find it annoying where the wedding coordinator is talking on behalf of the client? I had a good meet where the coordinator was doing 85% of the talking. Okay, so this is the thing. And not all coordinators are like this. There are some coordinators that are very good and they just kind of back off. They're like, I just want to be here to just hear what's talking about so I can take notes and then do the schedule. But there are others that want to control the whole situation here. And I know it's incredibly frustrating. And I don't want to talk through a party planner. You want to talk schedule, whatever, you want to talk details, but I don't want to talk I don't want to talk music details. I don't want to talk grand entrance. All that stuff should be done with the client, not with the party planner, because they can never give that same information. The information that you want, they can't provide to you because they don't know it. So then they're giving you some, very basic answer. And then you come to find out that it's completely different. So I make it a point. The easiest way to do this for me, and you can use this if you want. So our questionnaires go out based upon the email in the contract. And a lot of party planners will say, send me the contract and I'll forward it to them. And there's certain ones that fight us and it always ends the same way. But let's just say they tell me to send the contract. I will ask them, I can only send the contract to the person responsible for payment. And typically at that point, they will, and I'll CC you on the contract, but I got to send it to the email. And I do this for two reasons. One, so the client can see what's going on. And two, so the emails don't get stopped at the party planner. Because I'll have party planners that'll call me, hey, I just got booked to be their party planner. I'm taking over everything. Send everything through me. No, I will copy you on everything, but you didn't book me. Yeah, I know, but I'm responsible for everything. That's fine. You can be responsible. That's fine. But I need the client to be able to see. I need to be able to talk to the client. I need to be able to share my experience with the client. You, as the party planner, are not thinking like the client nor the DJ. You're thinking about timing and prettiness. That's it. And you're trying to make everybody happy. You're trying to make the client happy. You're trying to make the venue happy in regards to the schedule. We're the last people you're trying to make happy. So we are at a contradiction here. We're out of alignment because I don't care if the venue's happy or not. I care that your people stay as long as humanly possible. And when you tell me, oh, well, the caterer won't do that. It needs to be this way. And I say, if you do it this way, everybody's going to leave by the time dessert comes out. Oh, no, you'll do your job. You'll get them back up. Stop that. Stop that. Don't put all this burden on me and make me look bad because you have a shitty schedule. Don't do that. Stop. So I tell the client, I had Tuesday, I was on with my meeting with my client and it's a bar mitzvah. So bar mitzvahs run a very specific way. Okay. There's wedding way and there's a bar mitzvah way, and they are not the same schedule wise. We're going through opening. Dan said, and she sends me her schedule, and I'm like, and they always want to go, I'll send you the schedule after the meeting. I'll send you the schedule on the, no, send it to me now. Let me look at it now. It's only going to take me about a minute to tell you all the things that are wrong or right with it. So she sends me the schedule, and I'm like, okay, we need a dance set in between first course and main course because for bar mitzvahs, and this applies to weddings too. It drives me crazy when party planners try to have the entire food service in an hour or an hour and a half, because in general, the bigger the party, the longer that food service is, the longer people are sitting. And then that's less dancing. The longer you're sitting from the start of a party, the less likely you want to get up and dance later on. So what ends up happening, and please people, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if you haven't experienced this. And this is why it happens this way. When you have people at the end of your party going, go longer, encore, and you find yourself either going overtime or you have a 6-hour wedding and people are dancing that last hour. Do you know why they're dancing that last hour? Do you know why a wedding needs to be 6 hours long or you need to go overtime? Poorly written schedules. If you do a schedule correctly, people will have enough time in a 5-hour party where they've danced a lot and they can finally go home and we're not staying there long. It's always because of the schedules, because they front load the schedules. Then they're like, okay, get them dancing. And people are tired. They've been sitting down for 2 hours. They don't want to get up. And then finally they had enough alcohol, right? They've done enough stuff that they're like, okay, I'm ready to dance now. But if you had scheduled it correctly in the first place, they wouldn't be doing that. And I've seen both ways, and my way works better. Party planners on weddings don't want to do it. So back to the bar mitzvah. This was a wedding. She's a wedding planner that has moved into party planning for bar mitzvahs. So I say we definitely absolutely need a dance set in between first course and main course. Oh, well, they think that they can get it out. They think that it's just better this way for them. I'm like, I know it's better for them, but it's not better for your party. And here's the logic that I tell people. In between first course, your salad course, and your main course, there is a distinct window where nothing is happening. They are taking the plates off for the salads. They're removing all the stuff. They're getting it prepared to bring out dinner. So they got to take all the stuff up. That takes like 15 minutes to clear the tables, 10, 15 minutes. Then they can start even getting the plates on a platter so they can start bringing them out. That's another 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes. So there's an easy 20 to 25 minute dance set in between that you don't even have to do. It's there regardless. I just utilize it for a little dancing. Doesn't feel like you've just been sitting all night. Anyway, okay, let's see here. Thank you. You should write a book. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's all psychology. But really, for me, I just think that you should treat people how you want to be treated. But you should also understand that what we're doing, what a client is doing, is very, very expensive. Okay? A client is booking not just you, but the venue, the food service, the party planner, the photo booth, the photographer, the videographer, dessert stuff. All these things, the lighting, the flowers, that all costs money. That all costs money. And you're just one piece. of the budget, right? And remove the whole, well, we're undervalued, all that stuff. Remove that. Let's just say you do charge a fair price, okay? It's a lot of money in general. So I don't play around with clients. You know, yes, my price is my price. I completely understand that. And I do tell people, yeah, that is the price for this. However, I tell them, yeah, look, I know it's expensive. And one of the things that I have going for me that happens to work, T Diesel in house, what's going on? G Kenny in the house, what's going on? One of the things that I do, because I have a bat mitzvah. I have one more bat mitzvah next year in September. So I am like really in the know when it comes to like what these clients are going through. And I share that experience with them. And that does help. It does help when clients are like, he's just not out for the money. And I'm like, look, I know it's expensive. I know, look, this is what you need. You don't need to do any of this other stuff, you know, because we have all these different price points and premiums and guarantees. And I'm like, look, you don't need any of that stuff. You just need the base package. I'm completely fine selling just the base package of my contracts. And I don't force people. I don't force people to buy anything. I don't say, well, you got to have this to go along with it. I don't trick people into feeling like, well, I should get this because they told me. No. I sell you what you need to have a good party. You tell me what you want. We do LED walls, which by the way, G Kenny, we'll come back to the LED walls in a minute, but we sell LED walls. We sell photo booths. We sell cold sparklers and cryo and, you know, AV installs. We do all that stuff. I tell all the people this is available, but I don't tell them they need it. I don't tell them they need it just from us. Now, I have said in the past, I'll say, hey, we're booking it. We have an LED wall if you want it. Oh, well, we're going to use this one. And I'm like, oh, who's the company? I have flat out said, yeah, okay. I mean, I know their work. Our panels are newer, so they're going to look better. This weekend in particular. So there was an LED wall at this party. They didn't want me to bring any moving lights because they had the light show of all light shows. The light show of all light shows. I get there. It's not the light show of all light shows. Is it terrible? No, but it's not in my mind what was described, because I've seen when it's the light show of all light shows. I've seen these parties. So I know when something's really good and when something's like, okay, it's not as good as you think it is. Maybe the client's happy because the client hasn't seen, some of these other events. The LED wall they had was an older wall. It had so many dead pixels. And on the bottom panels, they looked like they were stained, like maybe it was an outdoor panel. And there was literal staining on the bottom of the panels at the bottom. And I was embarrassed for them. And then the worst part was we're in a standard, 250 person hall. It was in Pasadena. The panel they had was a 5 DPI. Now, I would never tell anybody to go with 5 unless you were outside and it was considerably farther away. I could see the dots in any part of the room. So if you guys are unaware of LED walls, there are different levels to LED walls. And typically there are two deciding factors. And this is not true that only DJs care. That's not true, Mac. That is not true. Party planners absolutely care. They just don't know the difference until you show them the difference. And then after you show them the difference, that's all they want. So they do know the difference. There's basically two deciding factors, okay, on a wall. All right. One is basically DPI. It's like dots per inch, or it's the space that each pixel is. Okay. So it goes from one, I think 1.5, all the way up to like forever. Now, the larger the pixel, all right, that is that circle that is on the screen. The larger the pixel, the farther away you need to look at that screen to be to where it looks like it's normal, like a normal TV. You don't see the little pixels and you don't see the circles. Okay. So the larger that is, so the higher the number you are, the bigger those pixels are. And the smaller they are, the closer you can be to a screen. 5 should never be used in an indoor environment. 5 is something you do at like a concert where the crowd is, you know, a ways back. And that's the starting point there. So our panels are 2.5, which I think is like right in the middle. So you're not going to see any pixels if you're up close to it, but back far, it's still a good picture regardless of where you are. So we have 2.5 inch panels, and they've been great. So when I saw the 5, I'm just like, you know, these people paid full price for this, and there's a lot of new panels, you know, and I get it. You get to a certain point, and I find this happens with like AV people too, because it is a business. And you have to run your business to where you're making money and you're profitable. Okay. You can't be profitable in a business if you're constantly upgrading your product. You can't be profitable. That's just not mathematically accurate. If you're always upgrading your product or bringing in new stuff, yeah, it looks cool and it sounds cool to your clients. Yeah, but you're not making any money. You know, when we spend $30,000 on, you know, a lot of panels, we're not making any money that year. And we took a hit. Going through the summer with no money coming in. And it hurt us. It really did hurt us. We were struggling just to pay our salaries because of the amount. So a lot of these companies, they've spent the time and they bought all this product. And yes, they might have made their money on the products. Maybe that, you know, that 5 DPI at one point, that was like the standard, you know? So maybe, at a certain point, you know, they've made their money back. But in order to make money, the profit part of it, you have to see that thing go out. And you have to utilize it as much as possible until you've found that like you've kind of drained, you know, all the juice from that orange. But people are like, okay, why do I need to buy battery powered? Oh God, Mac, you're killing me. You're killing me, Mac. And we'll talk about this too. Mac is helpful because Mac keeps things going. Mac always gives me something to argue with in a respectful way, But and I'll get back to the statement in just a minute. So like an AV company, all right? An AV company will have, you know, sometimes you'll walk in and you're like, why are you using like old ass regular par cans? You know, why are you using that? You know, they have battery powered wireless LED uplights now. And the AV company will tell you, well, nobody complains about this and I make money off this. If I have to upgrade my entire business, that's going to cost me like $30,000 or $40,000. And I'm not sure that I'm ready for that, you know, because when you buy a product, it's got to recoup its cost. Then you have to be able to make a profit. But in the meantime, while you are making that profit, you have to be putting money aside to be able to upgrade products. Products break. You got to be able to buy new products, all of these things. So all of these things matter. They all matter, you know, and that's why you don't see a lot of people upgrading. You know, if they do, it's in very, very small increments because anything that you spend to upgrade, you're losing out on profit. And if you found that nobody's complaining about the product you're bringing in, then what is the urgency to upgrade? Okay, look, iPhone, right? That's my daughter. iPhone. Every year they want you to upgrade. My camera, A7 IV. Every year they want you to upgrade. Every year. I still have my Lumix G7. Now, I am going to be upgrading my camera finally. Okay. I just don't know which one I'm going to get just yet. I might even get the A7 III because it's just an overhead camera. I just need good autofocus. So I'm going to be upgrading that. But had I bought a new Sony and a new overhead, all these things, I wouldn't be making any money from this channel. I would have spent it. $2,500 for this body. I got to buy another 20. That's $5,000 right there. That's going to take me a long time to recoup that cost. And will I even recoup the cost? You know, these things are for me. They're not necessarily for you. I know people that are shooting on iPhones. So I don't necessarily need to have this high-end camera. Yeah, it looks great. I know this, but how many people are actually saying, you know, I was going to look at his review, but his camera is trash. I've never heard that. What I have heard is your audio sucks. Not for me personally, but you know, in general. So I make it a point to have good audio, but visually, most people don't care. They just need to be able to see the product. Justin, the DJ in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. Okay. So Max says that's why you charge a high to cover the cost. You charge to make a profit, not to cover your cost. Your costs are built in to your package pricing, but that's your general operating cost. That's not your upgrade cost. You're not going to charge your client today for upgrade cost for your client tomorrow. That doesn't make sense. Okay. For instance, and this is how we do it. Everybody. Okay. Max, that's what I mean. Gotcha. Yeah. So for perfect example. So we have these walls and, we have all the stands for these LED walls, and I don't know the manufacturer. I'll have to get back to you. But we bought it overseas though. We didn't go we didn't go America. We bought them overseas. What was I saying? Oh, so this particular client has an LED wall next week. Okay. I'm like, fine, we got all this stuff. Then she says, oh, by the way, I want an LED DJ booth too to go in front of it. Oh, okay. Well, that's different. So we have to charge her for that booth. Here's the thing. We have to buy extra equipment now. I mean, I'm sure we could rent it, but we have so many LED booths along with the walls that are coming up that we were like, well, it makes sense to own it. Why would we just keep renting it? So we had to buy 2 new bases and, you know, a couple of 3-foot poles that you screw into the base. Now we could have just used our standard 50-foot circle bases, but that looks like crap. So we ended up buying some flat bases that have multiple poles. They have the pole for the top, the screw, and I don't know if you guys work in AV, but they're, you know, the circle bases have a pipe that goes into the base and it gets screwed in. Okay, that's standard poles for pretty much bases for everybody that does AV. So we have a whole bunch of those because we do lighting. But I wanted something more like the Flex stand where it's just a flat base. So we could have just gotten a flat base and then just kind of put a truss in, but we wanted options. So we got one that has the option to screw in the pole and put a truss base in. That way, if we are using it for lighting, we have more flexibility. It's leveraging your products so they can be used. I don't want a base that's only for the LED wall and when we're not doing the LED wall, I want to use it for our lighting, for any of that stuff. So it's leveraging. All right. So we had to charge her a fee for that booth. We charged her basically, and we didn't think about it this way, but we charged her knowing that we were going to take that money from the booth that we just made and we were going to buy this product. So we're still making full rate on the wall, but the LED booth, you know, which I charged her, I don't know, like $750, $800. Well, the 2 bases and the poles was like $858. Okay. So that's a wash basically. But now for the future, We have these bases. We have these poles. Now, the next time we do an LED booth, it's just extra profit. Extra profit. Now, I saw a question that says, why not rent? Well, renting is good for a temporary situation. Renting is good when you're using a product that potentially you're not going to use anymore. But once you find yourself using that product over and over again, you're actually losing money. Okay. Say for instance, say if I rent a Gobo, okay. And again, this is what we were talking about with Mac. You can't charge the cost of the Gobo projector, right? So say you rent it. Let's say we charge $300, $350 for like a custom Gobo. Okay. That's pretty average stuff here. So we do that. And then to have the Gobo made, it costs, upwards of like 67, depending on the detail, to like $100. Okay. So out of that $300, $350, you have to, 100 of it goes to making the Gobo. Now, let's say you're renting Gobos to go along with it. Okay. The Gobo rental might be another $75, give or take. So now we're up to $175, $150. So now you're making $150 profit. And now you're saying, well, is it worth my time to even do this? If you are, when we're doing major light installs and they're like, well, we need 20 Gobos. Well, then yes, we're still going to make our money back. But if it's one or two, is there a point to taking on the responsibility of that product when you're not really making any money? So again, recouping your cost. You want to do Gobos? We say, fine. We set a price that is going to be able to pay for that Gobo that we just bought in 3 rentals. That is our number. 3 rentals. If we can't make the money back for in give or take about 3 rentals, it's not a good thing to buy. Just in general, that's our general thing. Yes, we know the wall took the wall is going to end up taking. Well, it depends. So here's another thing that we're dealing with on the wall right now. What we're dealing with is there's a lot of companies that just own walls and they just rent them out, and they'll charge a client, say for like a 10 by 10, maybe they do a square or something like that. Maybe they'll charge $3,500. Okay. Which is dirt cheap because they just have panels. Okay. So they're just sending them out. They don't care how they're used or who's using them. They just set it up. Somebody comes in, they make you rent, rent another VJ to run the thing all night. And that's going to cost you somewhere around $1,000 to $1,500 for that DJ. Maybe 800, give or take. So now that 35 or 38 has jumped up to like 47. The numbers aren't that different, So when we first started, there was all these companies that were doing it for like 38. We're like, oh, fine, we'll match the price if we need to. We just need to get it out there because we need people to see it. We're going to take these as marketing, or it's still profit, but now maybe it takes, 7 times or 8 times to recoup my cost. But here's the thing. That 38 only applies to super cheap clients. But we have high-end clients also. And now once they knew we got it, and once it was on our brochure, people were just like, we want the wall. And they've seen the price because the price is on there. And they're fine with it. So the first one we charged full price. Then we had one that we had to bring it down. But the next 4 that we've done are all at our rate. So we're back to recouping our costs. I have one next week. I have one. And remember, we bought this thing in April. We ordered it in April. We got it in May. No, we ordered it in March. We got it in April for that April 20th. No, it was May 4th party. Okay. So now it is now September. right? We've only rented it out once because we had our 3-month break. So we can kind of ignore the 3-month breaks. Let's take away a month and a half. So we'll take away July and then, a little bit of June and a little bit of August. All right. So we'll say, 6 weeks, we'll average it 2 months. So we got it in April. So what is that? May, June, July, August, September. We'll remove 2 months. So in 3 months, we will have recouped our costs because we have one next week. Then we have one. We don't have any in October, but then we have two the first 2 weeks of November. We have one in January. Right now we have one in February. We have 2 in March so far. The dollars that are coming out of this thing are going to be life-changing, relatively speaking, for us. Because the one thing we don't want to do, the one thing we never want to do is we're not trying to Elon Musk our company. Okay. What do I mean by that? I mean, we're not going to start up a new company, which essentially is your AV company or your LED wall company. These are separate companies, guys. Okay. You have your DJ brand. Now, your DJ brand might offer LED walls, might offer lighting installs, but they're separate companies because these are things you can do without being the DJ. They're separate companies and you have to treat them that way. So you can't take the money from your DJ company to kind of like put all into the other companies. What I never want to do is take money out of my DJ's mouths. Again, I'm a multi-op. I never want to take money out of their mouths so I can make more money. Okay? Because we all want to make more money. We do. And we tell our entertainers the same thing. They're like, hey, I want to raise. I want this. And we're like, that's fine. What are you doing to qualify that raise? Are you giving me a headache? Are you getting requested left and right? Can I send you to any event and I know you're going to kill it every time? Those are the reasons that you get more money. You don't get more money just from showing up and doing the job. That's your rate. Your rate is doing the job. Going above and beyond is what gets you the additional money. So I want to have more money, right? But I'm not an idiot when it comes to companies. I'm not going to take the money from there and be like, you know what? I need to make an extra $30,000 a year. I can't take it from my DJ company. That's going to put my DJ company out of business. Okay. But what I can do is create another company. I can do lighting and LED, and now I can take profit from that into my salary. See the difference? It's being smart about your businesses. I can't DJ forever. There's going to come a point where I can always manage. I can always show up to my events. I can always make sure things are working properly. But maybe I don't DJ forever. But I still need to be able to make money. So I'm creating companies that I don't have to depend on dumbass Social Security or 401k to earn a living. I will just keep making money. That's the whole plan. I have money for my children. My son graduates college. My daughter, they want to do something. You can work for me. You want to run the business? Run the business. I'll put you on salary. Business keeps going. And I know people are always like, oh, AI is going to destroy the DJ. I don't believe so. I don't believe so. And even if it destroys the DJ company, okay, let's say AI comes and just removes it from you. Nobody wants to DJ anymore. They're still going to want LED walls. They're still going to want lighting. So what I've done is I've created a company that is more resilient to certain things. So if this company goes to crap, I still have other ways to make money. And the biggest trick about having DJs and having a multi-op is very simple. The DJs are your resource. That's where your money's going. It's going to the humans. It's going to the talent, because your DJs are your talent. That's what you're selling. You're not selling DJ services in reality. You're selling talent. You're selling consistency. You're selling a skill set. And so you have to pay for this. And the more talented they are, typically the more you have to pay. But for AV, for lighting, for installs, that doesn't require talent. It requires a talent, but it doesn't require the same type of talent. It's a manual labor. Manual labor jobs pay less. So your profit margins on things that aren't DJ related are so much higher than just the DJ company. So much higher. I mean, in reality, that type of stuff, once you've recouped your cost, it's like pure profit. Pure profit. So that's why we do these things. All right, let's go back to some of these questions here. Manfred, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. I have been noticing on the dollars that are coming through, because we have estimates every time, and there's a number that I want to hit every single month. Because of all the super chats, because of all the subscriptions, you guys have really helped the channel out. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. I try. Renting anything is about 10% of the cost to buy it yourself. If you cannot book something you've purchased at least 10 times, you can't break even. Exactly. And more importantly, you can't break even. What's the point of spending the money if it takes that long to recoup it? What's the point of even renting it? It doesn't make sense. Anything you buy, 3 to 5 events maximum. If you can't recoup your costs in 3 to 5 events, it's not a good business decision. Now, you want to be vain. For instance, DJ Furniture, which I own. Okay. I'm an ambassador for Danny Max. DJ Furniture is very difficult to quantify a return in investment. All right. Very, very difficult. Now, you look good. So from a marketing aspect, from a polish aspect, from a shiny aspect, yes, you're potentially enticing people because of the way it looks. Okay, so it's marketing. All right, but you're never going to make your money back from that equipment, or at least you're not going to be able to analyze it and go, oh, this is where we recovered our costs. You're never going to be able to see that on furniture. You're not even going to be able to see that really in lights, because even with lights, the client doesn't really care. But you need them. Up lights, we recouped our costs in 3 parties. Easily. Now, obviously, if you buy 100 lights, it's going to take a little longer to recoup that cost. We bought 100 lights because we bought them overseas, or 60 lights. We bought 5 cases of 12. Yeah. So it took a while to recoup, and we bought them during the pandemic. So that's a whole other thing. But since then, we have up lights going out every week, every single week. We've absolutely recouped our cost. Absolutely. And the things that we sell, video projection for the montage, that's been paid. A typical screen and projector for like a montage goes for somewhere around a 1080p projector and a screen goes for I don't know, $1,000 to $1,500, depending on what kind of one you're getting. If you're getting a short throw, if you're getting a longer throw, all of those things. My projector, remember I told you that, guys, if you guys have been following me, I've told you this before. My stuff that we buy from myself and my partner, all high end. I don't buy high end stuff for my DJs. They wreck high end stuff. I lose money on high end stuff. So I rent them quality stuff, but not expensive enough to where if they break it, when they break it, I can't replace it and still make my money back relatively soon. So, if it costs me for them, if it costs me somewhere around $1,000 to $1,500 for the package, we rent the video projection out for, just to show the montage. It's like for like $500. 3 times. 3 times pays for itself. That's the key. That's the key. If you can live by that, I think you'll see profit faster. You won't find yourself feeling like I can't get out of this hole from all these things I've paid on, but like I said, you don't need furniture. I like furniture. Furniture sells itself when people see it, when party planners see it, they're more likely to use your stuff, but it's not going to make you any more money. Okay. Thought I blocked you. I told you I had to stay right behind. All right. Hold on. In case you guys didn't realize, hold on. See if I can do this without breaking anything. Ah! Here. Let's see if I can make this happen. This is the most ghetto way. Okay. I'm going to be at Harvest of Sound in December. You know what? I have 115 people in there. I have an idea of what I want to do, and I've been working stuff out, but I got an idea. I want you guys I know it would have been better with gaff tape, damn it. I'm in my office. I don't have gaff tape flying around. So, but here's the thing. In the chat, I want you guys to put in the chat, if you're going there, which you should, because it's a great convention, and it's different than the NAMs, than the expos. It's a more concentrated learning tool or learning convention that I go to, and I think it's very, very good. I want you guys to put in the comments what you'd like me to talk about. If you could see me, what you'd like me to talk about. Put it in the chat. I'm curious. I blocked the state. It's in Boston. Which I do love. And I don't know. I'm a little sad. I'm glad that Rachel's going to be doing the MIT presentation. I'm glad, Philip. But I'm a little sad too. Because when I went to the MIT to do a talk, it was a much smaller class. And now I've seen PJ, Prion Joni, I've seen him do huge things, and I got this little ass thing. But we did go out to dinner, and it was great hanging with Philip. But yeah, I was a little sad. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah. So this is Lou is accurate, and this is watch my back. This is my number. Okay. And this is a good guideline in general for anybody out there. Okay. Your numbers can be higher, depends, but your minimum, okay. We have to be clear about this. Okay. You should be getting 30% profit on what you do, your minimum. Okay. And this is after the cost of doing the job. You got to rent a van, you got to pay for the DJ, you got to pay for the MC, any rentals. After all of that, you should still be making 30% profit. That's the number. That is the magic number, 30%. And it should be easy to find out. You take your thing, if you put in what the cost of all of your items that you send out, it should be really easy for you to figure out what 30% is. Okay? So 30%, the 30% does not apply. I will get back to Harvest of Sound in a minute. Give me half a second for all the people that are asking. The 30% should apply not just to your overall, price. The 30% should be built in to every single item that you sell. You get it? So that number 30% should technically be higher if you're selling a big package. Okay. But like, when we do our photo booths, we run the numbers and we need to make at least 30%. Video montage, 30%. Now, some products are going to be higher, like video montage. Once we paid for it, there's besides keeping some money aside for like replacing the bulb and all that stuff, pays for itself. So that's like 90% profit. But 30% should be your minimum. Okay. Now, Harvest of Sound. Harvest of Sound is a DJ convention. It is a DJ learning convention. So it's not like NAMM, but it has NAMM aspects of it. But it's 2 parts learning, 1 part of speaker shootout. So they will have a convention floor, and then they do have a really good thing, which nobody else does. Nobody else does this on the planet. And this is what's different for them compared to others. The speaker shootout. And a lot of people think they know speakers. Okay. I myself am the same way. I thought I knew speakers, and then I went to the speaker shootout, and then I realized 2 things. One, there's a lot of speakers out there that maybe you don't have access to. I know a lot of people that are like, oh, I want to hear the RCF speakers, but I live here and nobody has RCF where I am, which is true. Nobody has RCF in Southern California that I know of. Everybody uses QSC. And most people don't even use LDs. They use QSC, they use JBL. So I was finally able to hear a lot of these things. And more, and also kind of confirm my suspicions regardless, but it was a really good place to hear them all. And, they have a process. They try to make it as scientific as possible, by putting everything at their white noise number and everybody's at the same. So then when you play it, it's going to be played. Now, yes, there's certain times where certain speakers require different things to sound good. So sometimes they can look a certain way, but it's just trying to be as impartial as possible, but it was really, really good. It was the first time that I actually ever heard the LD44s. EV is definitely a lot of people use EV, which I personally have a hard time recommending, in all honesty. And I've talked to EV. They know what they need to do. What I'm saying isn't something that's like shocking. Oh my God, go back to EV and tell people that Cleve & Terry hates EV. I don't feel, in general, I'm not talking about all their products, okay? But I don't feel that their arrays are I don't feel that they are something that I'd be like, these are amazing. I don't feel that with EV. They need some work. I can put EV in the same boat as I can put like DAS Audio, and a couple other smaller companies like that, where they sound fine. They're not amazing. They don't sound amazing. They don't make me go, oh my God. I've felt that. I felt, oh my God, with RCF, and I don't even love RCF. I think RCF is a good product. I think it's a little overrated, in all honesty. But that's just an opinion. But I see I see why people like them. But I think they're fine. They're fine. They're a good quality speaker. It was the first time I heard LD, and I was like, oh, LD can actually do something. Now, I will say this. Good question. Good question, Mad. That's a very good question. I don't even know if I can answer that. I might lean more. Oh, that's a good question. Here's the thing. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I'm now jaded with the 44s. When I first heard the 44s, I thought these are amazing. Okay. I can't believe the sound that's coming out of these. And I still feel that way. But the 28 G3s are so good. They are so good that they make the 44s seem underdone. I know how stupid that sounds. But the 28 G3s are so good that I get annoyed when I use the 44s now. Because I'm just like, why don't they sound like the 28s? Just louder. They don't. The sound characteristics, the colors, completely different on them. So, I agree with you there, Tyler. Once the G3s come out, if the G3s 44s are the same as the 28s, just louder, in my mind, those are going to be the best speakers out. Honestly, if they can do that, they are the best speakers out. Because right now, the 28 G3s to me are the best small line array on the planet. In my opinion, there's nothing better. The 28 G3s actually compete with higher, larger speaker arrays. In all honesty. Yeah. I hope so. That's the plan. I mean, it makes sense, right? If you're going to come out with the G3, then it should be better. And I honestly, telling you, man, telling you. Never really liked EV. Beach restaurant I played at, we had these systems, used it a few times and resumed using my PA. They overheat. This is true. And shut down when it's really, really hot. Yes, I haven't experienced a shutdown when it was hot, but I just have never been impressed. I just don't think they sound. There's two reasons why I don't love the EVs. And one of the big issues, and I didn't realize it, now I get it. We were at this party, this wedding in Montana, and the EVs were like a mile away from the dance floor. Look, I'm exaggerating, obviously, but they were far away from the dance floor. And I'm standing in front of them. I'm like, they don't sound that good. Then I walked to the dance floor, almost to the end. And then that was all. I'm like, oh, there's the bass. I just wish they were better. That's all. Everybody was bragging about them. So when my rental company's like, hey, I got the EVs. I'm like, do it. That's fine. And I got there and I'm like, yeah, I'm not impressed. I'm talking about arrays. Jay Davis. I'm only talking about arrays here. I'm not talking about point source. Anyway, let's see here. Little CNC has a giveaway ticket. Okay, let's see. Give away a ticket. Comment 3 times. Last offer. All right. So we're giving out free tickets to Harvest of Sound. Now, don't get a free ticket if you have no intention of going to Boston, or if you're not relatively close to Boston, or if you're not going to fly. Don't take a ticket from somebody that is deserving. But, follow what Little at CNC. I haven't been looking at all the chat. So follow what he's saying and win one. It's a really good show. So this conference is it's a newer conference. It's only been around for 2 years now. They had one a year before that, but in reality, the conference has really been 2 years old. This is the 3rd year of the conference. First year I was there, I was a keynote speaker. And it was good then. It had a very small amount of people, but a good amount of people for something that nobody ever knew about. The second year got a little better. But they learned from the experiences of the previous year, and they implemented a lot of those things. And I'm only assuming that the third is going to be better. Third's going to be better. That's what I'm assuming. So I go every year, and look, obviously, and then people are like, well, they pay you to be there. I mean, yes, that is true. However, there's a lot of conferences that pay for me to be places, and I don't go because they're not worth my time. And I like what they're doing at Harvest of Sound. And if I can, be there and provide my face and hopefully gather more people because I'm there, I want to see this conference do well, because I truly believe that it is a really good conference. And if they can if they could continue to keep creating the buzz, getting more people in there. Last year they had Scratch Bastard performing at the final party. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Cleveland is our only 3-time speaker. Hey man, I'm glad to be there. And I honestly, every time I'm there, I enjoy it. And also I like going to the East Coast because I never realized that I had such a following in the East Coast. I didn't know because I'm in California, so I don't know. All I ever used to know were the people I saw at NAMM and the people I saw at the Mex in Vegas. So I didn't know that I went to the expo, and then I realized where all my fans were. So I enjoy going there because I know it's valuable, not just for me, but also just to show my face out there. Okay, let's see here. And that's the biggest issue with all the EV speakers. Yep, I don't disagree. So look, everybody's different. And I know a lot of people, I think if you came from like you've been DJing since prior to line arrays, okay? Because line arrays are a relatively new thing. They're like, I don't know, what would we say? They're probably like maybe 12 to 15 years old that they've gotten popular. And they haven't really gotten popular since the last, like maybe, I don't know, 5 to 8 years. So I've always used point source. So it took me a long time to move to arrays because they just weren't close to being my point source. Like they weren't remotely close. Even the small ones, I'm like, I'll just take Eons. Like this is just trash. Now I'm saying array. I'm not saying column. I'm not saying line. I'm saying array. This is my safe way of making sure I don't screw it up because I know everybody says it differently. Now, oh God, I forget the guy, Puerto Rican guy. He was at Harvest of Sound. I got his card over here. Super dope guy. He's straight New York, Puerto Rican guy. He had a full-on presentation of the difference between column arrays and line arrays. And he broke it down and I'm like, oh yeah, Tony. Yeah, he broke it down and I was like, that makes sense. And then I forgot it. Remember what I was saying, people? I said this last week about wanting to improve ourselves at conventions and why this show, in my opinion, is a great course, a great show to watch every week. Because when you go to conferences, you find yourself walking out of the conference really excited and trying to implement all these new things you've learned. And then you go about your business and you forget about all those things, or you try it once, doesn't work, and then you just give up on it, right? Well, these shows are the kind that you can take what you've found from the conferences and then try to implement them. If it doesn't work, come back to the show, explain what's going on, and then we can talk about it. And then you find yourself continuing to learn, and then you get better. Like nobody learns how to DJ off the first time. Nobody learns to DJ off the first time. You got to go back and you got to keep doing it and you got to keep practicing. Nobody DJs like DJ Mad right off the bat. DJ Mad didn't DJ like DJ Mad, but he practices and he puts it into play. He puts all that stuff into practice. That's the key. That's the absolute key. Once you get there, you're all good. All right. And look, so Bose is a perfect example. Bose was the first company to contact me about column arrays. First company to contact me, and they sent me the L1 with the L132 with the sub 2, and I was saying it was great. I still believe it's great. I do. I don't think it's the best anymore, though. I go back to LD. Now, does the Bose have more bass? Absolutely. Is it a different bass? Yes. But I've moved on. I still use them. They sit out there for my other DJs. There's nothing that I don't throw it away, but Bose was, for a while, they were my standard. Now it's the LDs. Anyway. All right, let's see here. You think the T7 will come out with the new Mark II or battle style? I don't know, man. They should. I think that there is a huge gap that anybody can take over. Okay. And even with the T7, which I called the controller of the year when it came out. The one thing about the T7, build quality. I think that the next one they come out with, if they do, whatever Mark II, should be maybe about $1,000, and the build quality should be better. And if they can do that, I think that they could end up being one of the standards, because there's a huge market. There's a market for belt-driven controllers. There's a market for that. It's not for everybody. It's not for every single event, but there's a market for a smaller, lightweight belt controller. And the T7 has taken up a lot of that. But even with the T7, build quality. I'm more concerned with longevity of the T7 than I am about what the T7 does. I'm not upgrading to the 16. There's no reason. I have the 15. There's no reason for me to upgrade to the 16 at all. It is a mediocre update this year. They shouldn't have called it the 16. It's the 15S. Is what that is. Yes, they did build some stuff in to allow for all the AI that's coming in. They won't even be released in September. How are you going to come out with a new phone, and all the things that you're swearing by are things that aren't even on the phone for another 2 months? Like, that's just silly to me. They really messed up on this launch. They really messed up. I do like the fact that it's a bigger battery. I like the fact that it lasts longer. I personally, this is the Pro Max, okay? And the reason why I bought this Pro Max is because, first off, they went titanium, so the phone got lighter. That's the one thing. And they shrink the bezels, so it got smaller. Now, this is a perfect phone, not too big. Then they went ahead and made it bigger again. Now, I'm sure it's not going to be that much larger because they shrank the bezels again, but I didn't really want a larger phone. I just wanted... Anyway, I'm staying with the 15. I won't have a new iPhone because I'm going to end up buying a new iPad. I've been waiting for the AI to come out. I still want a new iPad. That's what I've really been waiting for. But I know there are new MacBooks coming out too. So we'll see. Anyway, okay. Now, if you don't have the 15, like Philip says, if you don't have the 15, absolutely update to the 16. Absolutely. If you have like a 14 or below. But besides, just for the USB-C, just for that alone is a reason to update, in all honesty. Now, the one thing that the phone has, I will tell you this about the phone. The one thing, sorry, we're picking up bases, the ones I just told you about, and the lady's asking when I'm going to pick them up, which will be tomorrow. The one thing that they did fix, finally, not a lot of differences. I don't care about the stupid button that's on the side. Like, who cares about the button on the side? Most people aren't going to use it anyway because everybody's shooting in portrait mode now. So what's the point of having camera buttons down here when you're shooting in portrait. It's gonna be awkward. But they improved the wide angle lens on the back camera. So there are 3 lenses here, okay, and they're each different. There's the wide angle, the regular, and then the zoom. And I don't know if I'm saying them correctly, but they're all different. Here's the thing. They all have different apertures and different speed ratings, right? So if you're using the normal lens, the good lens, I think it runs at like 1.8, and it might even be 1.5 now. Anyway, what that translates into is more light. All right. So more light means you can shoot this in darker environments and the picture's not going to look good. But most people that I know prefer to shoot on the wide. You get more people in the picture, you just get more in your shot. So the wide is like a 2.8. I think it's a 2.8. And once you go to wide, it is a noticeable night and day difference. Night and day difference. So that would be the only reason that I would consider updating. But I really don't necessarily care about the wide angle lens. I want the front lens to be better. When we're doing videos, I want the front lens to be better. I don't know what they're waiting on for that. That's the thing that's pissing me off. I might not even do anything until they upgrade that lens. I need a better lens on the front. That's the key. Okay. All right, let's see here. I don't understand why not just make the phone thicker, bigger battery, and make cam flush. I don't want a thicker phone. And there is something to be said about having a good, size to weight ratio. It's not like your MacBook. Your MacBook, when they made the MacBook thicker again, because remember they were trying to go all thin, and then they finally made the MacBook Pro thicker and added all the ports on, and that was fine because it could be a little heavier because it's a computer. It's stationary. You set it down. I don't want that for my phone. I don't want a big ass block for my phone. So, because I'm holding it in my hand all day, but that's just me. That's just me. Okay. No landlines here. And it should support DJ Pro out of the box. Fair enough. Willie, CT, talk about Crate Hackers for a second. I have a video on them, I did a video when I was at the expo. Worth the money, is it cheating? Thanks. Something I'm interested in. Yeah, I did a whole video on this and kind of broke down what you're talking about, Willie. I will give you a nutshell though. Crate Hackers. Crate Hackers is good for everyone to a point. Okay, so and I use this analogy in the video when I did it. You own a home, you have an apartment or whatever, and let's say, it's getting pretty dirty, it's getting pretty crowded. You got to throw some stuff out, you got to clean up, it's got dirt, you want to, clean the kitchen. So you bring a cleaning crew in, they come in, they detail that thing, and it's beautiful, shiny new, everything's perfect, everything's where it's supposed to be. But then over time, the mess comes back because that's just the way human beings are. The mess comes back, and then you have a choice. Either you try to clean it yourself or you get a cleaning crew to come back and do it. That's what I feel about Crate Hackers. Crate Hackers is a good program for a real cleanup of your database. Now, it's not for everything because they're still human beings and they're still trying to, tell you what they feel is the best song. So sometimes, depending on in your area or where you are, certain songs aren't going to work. But if anything, it reconfirms. Okay, so I did an event recently and I pulled down some playlists just to kind of see, where I wanted to go. I wanted to kind of think outside the box a little bit. And I was looking at like the 2000, and Tidal has a great 2000s hip hop playlist that literally breaks it down by year. And I'm going through these years and I'm like, hey, I haven't played that song. I haven't played that song in a while. I totally forgot about that song. And that's what Crate Hackers does. It kind of forces you to remember the things that you might have and don't even realize you have. And those are bangers that could improve your sets. Now, once your sets are clean, especially for like the older stuff, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, once you've done all that and cleaned it up, you're done with that. You don't typically have to go back and fix that because those are all bangers and the classics don't change, right? The only new thing is the new music. And you might do a good job of doing it, but every so often anytime you're doing this, you're downloading stuff and next thing you know, you have a mess again. Go back to Crate Hackers, reinforce, clear up the stuff that you don't need. That's the key. That's what Crate Hackers is for. It's not for all the time. It's for when you need to clean up. And a veteran DJ, for me, for instance, as a veteran DJ, I'm like, I am going back to it just to clean up my folders again. But a new DJ, dropping frames, we got to figure out when that happened. But I drop frames at least once everything, and everything's fine. But a new DJ, that's a godsend for them to know what works right off the bat. Like that's a godsend for new DJs. So yes, Crate Hackers is definitely something I would recommend. If I were Bose, I wouldn't come back to Harvest the way you treated them too. You were out to get them. Okay. I'll go to Woodley first. Hold on. I need to upgrade my mid 2012 MacBook 13, which I DJ with which Apple Silicon will run Rekordbox, Adobe Audition, and Logic. Any MacBook with an M1 chip will run everything you just listed there. Any M1 MacBook. Any. Again, MacBook 1, M1, MacBook Pro 14, middle of the line processor. Now my processor, I think, is like entry level on the M3s. Okay? I still don't have a reason to update it. So any M1, any will work. I prefer ones with fans. I know a lot of people like to rock Airs and stuff. I know they work just fine. My son has an Air, no fan. No, I'm sorry. My son has a Pro. I bought him a Pro. I didn't buy him an Air. But his first one was an Air, and he'd never had any problems with it. I just don't trust it in heat. That's all. G. Kinney. Okay. Had a BeatSource question. Finally tried it for the first time. In order to see the new songs you add, do you have to reset the whole program? Also, Tidal or BeatSource? Okay. So, Kenny, Gerald, whatever. Anyway, what you're dealing with is a limitation of Serato. Because I don't think you're using Rekordbox, right? Aren't you using Serato? But you're typically dealing with that. So with BeatSource, you can add new stuff in, but in order to fix it in Serato, you have to log out and log back in or switch. Here, I'll show you right now for all you people. I mean, let's see, I got another 15 minutes or so and then I have to go, but it's going to take that long for Serato to boot up. I kid. I still love Serato. I do, the DJ video, is getting shot tonight and tomorrow. Every time I start to write it, I'm like, well, let me just make sure that it's not me. Let me just do this. Let me do this. Let me just fix this. There's one thing about DJ, and so you don't have to reset Serato. So, okay. All right, let me just, get out of there. Okay. So, all right, perfect. So let's say I'm in Tidal right here. Okay. And, so I'm in Tidal. I don't have BeatSource on here, but when you add stuff through, you probably want to see my pretty face. Hey, when you add stuff through like their website and you add it in, it won't show up in here. So the easiest way is to go into your library and display. And let's say you have Tidal and you have BeatSource, is to literally just switch to the other one, and if you have it log in or whatever, and then switch back. And then your updates should be there when you do that. Now, if you're using DJ if you're using Rekordbox, if you're using even the other one, what's the other, a virtual DJ, they can reset. You can force the reset. So it's one of the weak parts of Serato. They know it. We know it. Let me go back real quick. I'm just going to boot it up real quick. Look how fast that stuff boots up. It's stupid fast. But yeah, so like right here, I have Apple Music and I have Tidal. By the way, Apple Music gave me an error yesterday. I was logged in on a different internet, and apparently, I don't know why, they have something blocked on their free service. So Apple iTunes wouldn't work. Tidal did, but Apple didn't. So the things you can do in like DJ are this. So let's say I move over here into Tidal. Let's say I go into hip hop 2005 and I want to take, it doesn't really matter, but I'm just thinking of something that I don't typically play. I know I'm spending way too much time in this. All right, let's do, we'll do David Banner. Now, the one thing you can do with this, first off, I can add any song into my Tidal playlist right here. I can add it in right there. I can also do the same thing with my local drive. I can pull songs that are streaming songs into my local drive. Can't do that with Serato. And that was one of the things that makes streaming hard. Okay. When you can't implement them into your normal crates, you find yourself, at least I find myself, not seeing songs that I should be playing. Like say somebody sends you a playlist, right? It's Tidal, whatever, and you pull it in and you have it sitting there on the side, but you're usually in your local crates. And then you have to keep going back. But it would be nice if I just had them in my local crates that I didn't have to get out of. So there's positives to that. That is Serato's weak link. It's their weakest link is their database and their streaming options. Okay. Yeah, exactly. So, here's the thing, because I use Apple Music, I find myself wanting to use DJ because of the fact that I can use Apple Music. All the playlists I spent all my time making are right there. Now, if I was using Tidal, I'd say the same thing. I'm glad they have Tidal in there, but I don't use Tidal. I use Apple Music. Okay, so I'm not obviously going to give you all the details of DJ. I want you to watch the video. But there is one thing that I have noticed, and the reason why I haven't released this video is one thing. And all the DJ people in here, let me know if this is accurate. Okay? DJ so far has worked great. Yeah, there are some quirks in it that I don't love. Like for instance, I really don't love the fact that the queue is over on this side. I don't love that. I would rather it be in its own window because it's harder to see everything. I don't love the fact that when I search for stuff, and I'm not, like right now, see, I'm searching, it's pulling up everything that's in my crate, but it's staying right there. But let's say I'm in music, right? And I do the same thing, and I search for Drake. It pulls Drake into this little folder right here, into this little column. So I have to move it out, and then I gotta see. And as you can see here, it's fairly lacking in information. Like that is a thing for me. Like, and let's see, can I? Yeah, there's no way to implement other columns. So it's just missing some things like beats per minute. I love that it has the E, that's important, but that's a little bit of an issue for me. But the main issue, and you tell me if I'm wrong, the main issue that I have with DJ, which is why I haven't released the video, which is why I haven't shot it, is because every so often I will get a really weird quirk. Now, is it a quirk that ruins my DJ set? No, but it's something that doesn't make sense to me. So, and it happened a couple of times even yesterday when I was DJing. Let's just say that I'm scratching in a beat. I think I know what I have to do. I think I know what it is now. Maybe. In the settings for DJ, which are very limited, they do need more settings. But in the settings, this resume sync after pause, scratch, or cue jump. This is on. It feels like every so often, you can't see that. Right here, resume sync after pause, scratch, or cue. It feels like, I think this might be the reason, but it feels like on certain songs, when you are scratching, you're doing some wordplay or whatever, and you drop the song in, there will be almost like a loop back beat. Okay. So let's say you're scratching, a beat on the one, and maybe it's a phrase, and you're dropping the phrase, and then I don't care that Qbert uses DJ. I've said this before. So for Stendari, this is not a personal attack or anything. I don't think Qbert using DJ matters to anybody. And this isn't a slight to DJ, but Qbert is not a mobile DJ. Qbert is just a scratch DJ. That's what he does for a living. That is his profession, to scratch DJ. But for mobile guys that are using it, going through stuff, I don't think he's the standard to suggest if you should be using DJ or not. Okay. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So I will drop a phrase, drop the phrase, and it will give me literally like you can see it on the screen where it like will start to play it. And then if it doesn't sense the beat, or maybe it thinks the beat's coming in at a weird time, because it's all algorithm based, right? It takes the beats coming at a weird time. It will literally like delay the beat, where either it'll slow the beat down for a minute and then catch itself up, or it will double it. You get what I'm saying? Am I the only one that's experiencing that? It's just weird. It just happens. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It just does it when it decides to. And for me, I love consistency, and I don't like seeing things that are out of my control, that it's just doing random things. So I'm trying to find it. I think it might be this resume afterwards, but even then I had a beat going once, and I did a backspin on the DJing track. I did a backspin, and when I did the backspin and moved the crossfader over to the main deck, there was a delay. It literally like slowed the beat down to bring it back up. And little quirks. For instance, there is an option to reset tempo when turning sync off. Okay, so I have this option in here that's not on. It is maintain sync on load. Okay, so that means you load a song in, and I've showed you this before, but in Serato specifically, if I'm DJing, what time is it? 1 o'clock. Okay, if I'm DJing in Serato, right? And let's say, for instance, the last song I was DJing on this side right here, let's say that I had it sped up to like +6. Okay, so let's say your beat is like, I don't know, 128, right? And then you brought it up to say 132. Okay, if I load in a new song, and let's say that song over here, if I load in a new song, let's say that song is, I don't know, 120, right? If the fader is set to here, when I load that song in, the song BPM should be sitting around, 124, 125. All right. It should not be at 120 when I'm not at 0 fader. Now, this is an opinion. This is an old school way. This is the way us turntable DJs used to do it. This is the way Serato does it, which is why it's the closest thing to a turntable DJ out of every software out there. Okay. So I want wherever this fader is to be, when I load that song in, I want the BPM to represent that fader. That's what I want. Now, in DJ, it defaults to, I don't care where your fader placement is. All right. So if this fader's here and then I load a song in, and let's say that song is 128, it's going to be 128 right here, even though it should be sitting at about, 134 at full 8. Okay. So, in order to get this back so you can adjust the speed manually, you got to bring this back to this part. Or even if it's slower, you might have to bring it back all the way here. And then you can adjust the speed again. I absolutely can't stand that. I hate that way. So I turn that off. What I want, because if you're a seasoned DJ and you know what you want to do, you know where that fader should be. You know that new song where that fader should be immediately. So if I'm over here and let's say it's here, but my next song, let's say this is 100. My next song is 107 on this side, right? If I have it here and I load it up, I want it to be the tempo. And then I need to adjust up or down to get it to the speed. That's what I want. So DJ defaults to the, I don't care where your fader placement is. Okay, fine. But I can turn it off. Here's where it gets weird and a little glitchy. I have it toggled off. Every so often, I will load a song in, and maybe let's say I was syncing on one side. I'll load a song in, and it will ignore my fader placement, and then I'll do it again, and it will be right. So there's some glitches in DJ. Are they deal killers? No, absolutely not. There's still a lot of functionality that the DJ does. But they're little things. And look, every software has quirks. We know this. But it's just, are they the quirks that you want to deal with? That's the key. Okay. Let's see here. Thank you, DJ Takes Over Cross. I appreciate that. I try. Okay. Let's see here. Anything else? All right. So it is now 1:05. I'll give you 5 more minutes. Let's see here. Can you quit hackers on external hard drive? Can you quit hackers? Or can you have hack? I mean, I assume, can you do create hackers? Yeah, you can. They don't really care. It just looks for where your database says your music is, and that's where it will try to put it. Okay, I'm gonna go back up real quick. Let's see here. Yeah, so back to Create Hackers, Willie. 30,000 songs. You have too many songs. Okay. And this is not old head DJ telling you have too many songs. You have too many songs. You do. There's absolutely no way you were playing 30,000 songs. Now, I know the logic. You can tell this to your clients. I have every song known to man. I have every song known to man, so it doesn't really matter. If you ask for it, I got it. Great. But you're filling up your hard drive with unnecessary space. You're using it up for no reason. I have too many songs right now, And I think I have like 10,000 songs, and I have too many songs. I honestly want to get my DJ database down to around 5,000, 3,000. In all honesty, we're not using that many songs, guys. Let's just be honest. We're just hoarding. And I can guarantee you, there are multiple versions of said song that are just sitting on your hard drive, taking up space. You gotta, that's where Crate Hackers comes in, to clear that out, okay. Do I think Reloop will upgrade the Elite Mixer? I wish I had a more positive thing to say about Reloop. I do. But I honestly don't know what the hell they're doing over there. I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't know. And I like Reloop as a company. I just don't know what they're doing over there. I don't know, man. Oh, 15 to 2. Okay. Well, so for that, it depends on what type of parties you're doing. If you're doing always the same parties, then yeah, you're fine. But like, I do Latin clubs, I do open format clubs, I do bar mitzvahs, I do weddings, I do corporate, and a lot of times, I will have some doubles because I have explicits and I have clean versions. So I'm going to have some doubles because of that. I will say this. The one thing that has been bothering me about DJ is the lack, and I know this isn't a big deal. I do. But the lack of Serato Flip is an issue. Serato Flip is one of the best programs that has never caught on. One of the best programs. If people actually utilize Serato Flip, you could cut your song database in half. In half. Maybe even into a third. Because what Serato Flip removes is your need for an explicit version and a clean version. It removes your need to have like a short edit and a long edit. It removes the need to have like custom versions that you had to go back into like, Serato Studio or something like that and make new things. All of those things you can do with one Serato Flip. Now, Serato's the only one with Serato Flip. So I have songs right now that I can't play in DJ, and I keep forgetting to like download a clean version or pull a clean version because I had dirty versions with clean edits in them. That's a big deal. I know it sounds stupid, but it's a big deal. Okay. Oh, DJ Rob says new songs come out every day. This is true. New songs do come out every day. Now, out of the new songs that come out every day, how many songs are you really playing? Out of the new songs that come out every day, how many songs stand the test of time? So you're correct. New songs do come out every day. That doesn't mean that they're good enough to be placed on your hard drive. There is a lot of trash out there now. There's a lot of disposable music that works for, a month and then it's dead. For those, I don't need those files. I can stream those files. If they're not being requested on every one of my parties all the time, that's a streaming service file. In all honesty, I keep what I know works. I keep what the client request, especially for like ceremony, important things, first dance. Oh, this is our sorority song that we sing every time. Like those types of things I keep, but I don't download every single song on their request list. That doesn't, I don't need to, especially if you can look down and say, well, these songs I'm not even going to play, but I can stream it if I need to. That's the key. You don't need to have every song. And I guarantee you, if you just go through your new music right now, go through all the music, because we have this thing as DJs where we go in and we just download everything. And you go to DJ City and you're like, oh, top downloaded songs by DJ. First off, and I'm close with DJ City, okay? So I will tell them the same thing. That top downloaded window they have up, irrelevant. It's irrelevant. That download is all of you guys. Download, it's top download. Let me download it. And it just keeps, perpetuating the cycle. But a lot of that music isn't stuff that people have asked for. It's just remixes that DJs thought, oh, let me download this. Let me play this. All I care about is the songs that people actually want to dance to. Okay? For my open format. If it's for me, different story. But I guarantee you, out of every new songs that come out every day, and it could be in your record pool, it could be in Apple Music, whatever, there's probably, out of all those songs, there's probably 3 to 5 songs. And this is why I have a love-hate relationship with record pools. I really do. In this day and age with streaming, with the quality of music, with the cost of buying music on your own, a lot of these things mathematically don't really make sense. If I got to pay $30 a month for a record pool, okay, that means that I need to be playing or downloading and playing, not just downloading, okay? This is where people get confused. You need to be playing 15 songs, maybe 12, depending on the cost of the song, in order to qualify or validate that cost. Here's my question to you. How many people out there are playing 15 new songs every month? And be honest with yourself. I'm not talking about stuff for you. I'm not talking about, the random, oh, I did this Latin party, so I pulled all this music and it was there. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about in general. How many people are actually downloading and playing 15 on average now? Remember, this is on average. 15 new songs every single month. So we're literally just paying for stuff that we're not using. I mean, it's the same thing. It's all subscription-based stuff. Like I went to the gym yesterday. I hadn't been to the gym after I hurt my shoulder in May of I hadn't been to the gym. I'm still paying every month on that gym. I'm literally losing money. So I went back. I'm like, I gotta make sure this makes sense. So DJ Rob says probably 5. Okay. So if you only download 5 songs, to buy those songs yourself would cost you like $10. Streaming makes more sense because streaming is it's a backup. It's an emergency backup. That you can pull a song in here and there, a brand new song that you've never heard that somebody asked for. You can pull it in real quick. Like that's the kind of stuff I gladly pay for streaming because of that fact. That is a cost worth spending every month as a DJ business owner. Absolute cost. You definitely want to have it. Back in the day, probably before 2020, when it first came out, I was like, now, yeah, you need some streaming service, something. Now, with DJ, Apple doesn't charge you, so that's another factor. I'm paying for Tidal. I wouldn't have to. But it just works. Okay. Okay, so yes, here's the thing. If you need an intro on a certain song, but I don't really use intro tracks as much anymore. Now, we don't use intro tracks anymore because of stems. There's no reason to have intro tracks because you can just stem it out and have the beat, have the bass line, whatever you need can be right there. So you don't need intros and outros. Now, some are great. I'm not saying they're not, but in general, the only reason to have like a record pull is to pull like real good remixes. Nowadays, you know, there's a couple of companies out there that I really do like because their remixes are dope and they're my vibe. You know, like anytime I'm downloading stuff, it's like, you know, groovy house, K-Tronada style stuff. Like that's stuff for me when I'm DJing, like my lounges and things like that. But in general, for my bar mitzvahs, for my weddings, most of the time you don't need it nowadays. Now, if you're brand new, and you're just starting out on DJing, absolutely get a record pull. Get multiple record pulls because that's the fastest way to build your library. There you go. Okay. I mean, that's an option, but I feel like those can be ripped anywhere for scratch samples, you know? BeatSource is great. As a DJ that takes requests, it's a lifesaver. And with the intros are great too. Yeah, no, I like BeatSource. I do. I like BeatSource, yes, because of the intros. But I like Tidal more because of the robust catalog. BeatSource has a solid catalog, but there's plenty of times where I've gone to pull a song and it was not there. So I had to go to Tidal anyway. So if I'm doing that, I start to question the need. You should have one though, you know? Okay. It is time to go. It's almost 1:20. It is time to go. Hey, thank you so much, Denny D. Appreciate that. I know I had some new people in here and then I lost their names, but to all the new people that came and watched the show, thank you so much. Tell a friend, come back next Thursday. We do this every single Thursday. Tell a friend. We want to build this up. You know, good numbers today. You know, I saw it reach as high as like 125, 130. You know, I want to get this show to around like 200 to 300 people every single Thursday, and we can do it. We can get there. Let's see here. Where am I at this weekend? I had to turn down a really, really good event because we have so many parties booked this week. I had to turn it down. I was really annoyed by it because we have too many parties. I mean, first world problems. When it's all said and done, those DJ gigs on the side that I love to do aren't paying my bills. So I got to go where I'm paying my bills. Anyway, somebody asked me if I was going to DJ on Twitch. I will not dual stream on Twitch. That is a no. I don't need the extra people. The extra people need to come to YouTube. I don't need to go on Twitch just to have it. It's a different energy on Twitch. Twitch and YouTube are different energies. So if I'm going to do a Twitch show, it's a very specific Twitch show. This is a YouTube show and I'm fine. Every time when I used to dual stream, I couldn't keep up with the comments because they were so crazy the way it works. So this is a YouTube only show. And in all honesty, when I made the move over to it, my numbers are better by just staying with one than doing two. They've been better because people get confused on where to go. Should I go on the Twitch side? Should I go to the YouTube side? I don't really know. I like it better here. Now I will have another one. And I will sign up for the DJ membership. And the reason why I'm going to go back to Twitch, is just to DJ. And if I'm doing my interviews, I have found myself not having time because of the LED wall and the AV installs. I've been doing all that, so I'm not DJing. And I need to keep my hands up. So you'll see me on here with my Ref 7 with my Rev 7 DJing. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to bring my turntables over, but at least I'll have the Rev 7 up here. Okay. All right. Anyway, so next Thursday, I hope to have the DJ video out. It's going to go out to my members first. Hopefully by Monday. It's going to members first, and then it'll go to everybody else. So make sure you're a member of the YouTube community fam, and you'll get first pickings. I'm thinking about doing two things, so just keep this in mind. Because of some of the examples I want to use, I cannot do some examples on the regular video feed because it will get demonetized. And I'm not doing all this work to get demonetized. I want to see a return on my investment. That's the video I'm making. So I may have a secondary video, which is just for my members. And I will bring in real music, all that stuff, so you can see what's going on and you can see my examples. And that way I know the people that are my members, I know they're my members. So I'm going to make my money back because I'm our members. So that's kind of what I'm looking at doing. There will probably be 2 videos. All right. That's it for me, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out. I got to go eat some food. Got to get on my call. I got to go to the gym. Just got to go do stuff. Anyway, I appreciate you. As always, everybody out there, have great parties. I'm going to look back on the chat and see what you guys said I should talk about at the at Harvest of Sound, which is right here. And I'll see if I can incorporate that into what I'm already doing. And if it's better, I'll just do that. I don't mind changing it up. All right, y'all. I will see you guys next week. Always a pleasure. Talk to you soon. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, TikTok. That's at Cleveland Terry. I'll see you soon. Peace out. So I knew there wasn't anything wrong with the S. Hey, if you guys are still here, one question, one answer for Devin. I'm just doing this so I can repost it later on. But Devin asks, what's the best way to get your speaker to stay straight when placed on your speaker pole? You want your speaker to stay straight? Get better speaker poles. In all honesty, that typically means that your speaker is too heavy and it's applying too much pressure to your cheaper speaker poles. So if you have a heavy speaker, go with something like the JBL gas ones. I have several ones of those because those are heavy duty. They're made to work on the SRX, which are like 65-pound speakers highs, and they always stand straight. So go there. All right. Once again, peace out.